after you get your entire photo warped, so you've got it arranged, warped, from there you can start masking. And masking is it's not that hard. You just don't want to do too much, and you just got to be very focused on what it is you're doing. So for example, if I put a mask on layer 1 here and I start painting on that mask, white's going to show up. Well, why isn't it blending? Well, because there's nothing behind it. And that can happen if you don't have enough overlap. You start to erase part of the picture to see through the picture behind it in order to blend them together, and there will be nothing there, or you've gone too far, and then you'll start to see white, or you'll start to see checkers, or sometimes even a third photo behind it, and that makes it even more complicated. So I'm going to delete this layer mask here. And click on my second layer, because that's where I'm starting. I'm not going to put one on my first layer. And I'm going to put a mask on this layer. And the mask is down in the bottom right layers window of Photoshop, and it's got a whitish square with a dark gray circle in the center. I click on that, and that's going to put a white box next to my layer. So if you're looking on that layer I have selected, here is my layer. So that's the picture. And then here's the mask. A mask is basically like a sheet of paper that would block your photo, something to stop it from going through so we couldn't see it. So if I take black, and I either use black or white, I use my paintbrush. So here's the paintbrush tool. And there's lots of similar looking tools, but the paintbrush has no line, no dots, no special. It just looks like a brush. I use the black, and so these, if I, let's say I have a color, if I hit this little square above the two color swatches, it will give me pure white and pure black, and then I can use this arrow to switch between my colors. And so now if I start painting, I can write my name on here, whatever, and see, oh, there I'm running into my third photo, but I can erase my photo. And so that is a mask. And if I paint with white, I can also bring my photo back. So I put a mask on, and now on the seam between these two photos, I'm going to blend the image together. So I'm going to use black, and then I also want to lower the opacity. So I come up here in the brush, and I'm going to lower this down, and then I'm going to slowly paint it out. Now I should double check to make sure my brush is soft. I don't have a hard brush. And I'm going to paint out. Now you got to be careful as you get right here to this, behind this third photo. So I'm just going to not go all the way there. It also gets tricky when you come to objects with hard lines. I tend to stop a little bit before, because you'll start to see the other object behind it. So I'm painting right on this edge. I'm not going to actually paint anything in the building. I'm going to leave that alone. All those hard lines. And so now if I hit it's the backslash key, it's right underneath the delete key. That gives me this red haze anywhere that I have painted. And so I can see how I've masked. Now, if you are looking very carefully, you can see it's a little bit darker on the left side than it is on the right side. Some people's images will be dramatically darker and dramatically brighter from one side to another. For the most part, I haven't seen too many, oops, got a little mistake there, I haven't seen too many people's photographs that we couldn't get it pretty close. A couple, but not many. But that's the next step. So if right now you start to play with the colors and try to get them to match, what happens is you haven't seen the big picture yet. You're only looking at two small images of the whole, and you will go too far to one extreme. And so it'll look good right here, but to get the ones to match up on the other end, they'll be pure white because it's just going to gradually get brighter, it's going to gradually get darker. So I would highly recommend you mask everything first, and then after you mask everything, then go back and work on the color. But some people get freaked out about it right now. So I've got a little mistake up here. So I'm going to hit my mask selection here, and I'm going to switch to white and paint that out a little bit more so I can't see that. There, bingo. All right, so that's that one. And now this one looks a little bit closer. You can see a little line right along here. And so I'm going to put a mask on my third layer, because the third layer is on top of the second layer. So I hit that button. Now some people will get, oh, oops, Mr. Osmond, I got 2 white boxes. Nope, you don't want 2 white boxes. I'm going to delete one of those, so I control click on that box, delete mask. Now I have just my regular mask. And you can also, this is another big problem, is people will start painting on their picture. If you start to see your picture get darker, like pure black or pure white on it, that's bad. You can click on your picture, or you can click on your mask. If you click on your mask, let's turn these 2 off, it erases, oops, I'm with white, it erases the picture. And it can get confusing because there's white behind it. If you are clicked on the picture, you can paint right onto the picture. And then if you have white to try to touch it up, you're just putting white on top of the black. So if I turn off the background, you can see the actual white getting painted. It's not erasing, it's painting the color white onto the picture. That's not good. So we'll go a step backwards here. Turn my other layers on. And so we're on number 3. We want to click on the mask. Find those edges I want to touch up. Right here. So touching that up. Touching the sky up. Let's see where I've painted with the backslash key. So that's masking. So main areas to get tripped up, not clicking on the mask, clicking on the image instead of the mask, and then painting black or white on your picture, or being on the wrong layer altogether. So just some careful details, some very technical details that if you get wrong, it's not going to work. So if you've gone wrong, try one of those areas there, making sure you're clicked on the right layer. If you've painted a lot on top of your picture, like more than 25 clicks, you're not going to be able to undo them all. And that's why I suggest saving your picture into a folder. So if I made a mistake here, I could just delete this picture. I can keep 1 and 2, and I can recopy and paste picture number 3 in here without having to start over.